guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you've probably already guessed, today we're going to look at making homemade pizza. Now this is my go-to recipe and I'm going to share that with you today. We're going to learn how to make an amazing pizza dough from scratch at home, an easy and super delicious no-cook pizza sauce, and we're going to look at topping the pizza two different ways. One's a classic pepperoni pizza, the other one's a beautifully gorgeous meatless version. So without any further delay, let's go straight ahead and take a look at the recipe. We're going to start off by making this easy and simple pizza dough recipe. We're going to start off with the yeast. Don't be afraid to work with yeast. Following a few simple steps will make the process really simple. I've got 1 teaspoon of instant dried yeast. You can use active dried yeast if you'd like as well. To that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of sugar. Now the yeast needs sugar to feed on, so don't omit the sugar at this stage. And I'm going to add a little bit of warm water. Remember, your water needs to be warm to the touch, not hot. Boiling hot water is going to kill your yeast and your dough won't rise. I'm going to gently stir this yeast and sugar a little bit just to get everything mixed in there. And you're going to leave this bowl aside for 5 to 10 minutes to let that yeast activate. In about 5 to 10 minutes, you will notice the yeast has become nice and bubbly and frothy. That way you know your yeast is active and you can then proceed with your recipe. I'm going to start off with 2 cups of all-purpose flour or maida. To this, I'm going to add about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And I'm likely going to mix that just to get that salt mixed through the flour. I'm going to make a little well in the center. And I'm going to add all of that yeast mixture, making sure I get the yeast, the sugar, and everything else from that bowl into my large mixing bowl. And then, obviously using clean hands, you're going to start bringing this dough together. Gently just mix in a little bit of the dry flour at first. And using warm water, you're going to knead this to a dough. You'll probably need something in the vicinity of 150 milliliters of water for this amount of flour, but I would strongly recommend adding the water in stages. Add as much as you think you need to form all of this flour into a nice soft dough. I'm going to just speed through this process, but I'm going to let you see the different stages that this dough takes towards being formed. Now, if you've been like me, a little too enthusiastic while adding the water, and you can see that the dough is still extremely sticky to the touch after coming together, there's no harm done. Just add a couple of more tablespoons of dry all-purpose flour as needed. Remember, you don't want this dough too dry, but just manageable. And you're going to work that into the dough like you can see me do here. Now at this stage my dough has come together. It's nice and soft. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to this now. I'm going to add about a spoon's worth at this point and work that into the dough till it's all nice and mixed up. And once that's done, I'll add another tablespoon or so. The olive oil adds beautiful flavor to the pizza dough, so I would strongly recommend that you use it here. Once the oil has been absorbed, you're actually going to start working your dough. Like you can see me do here, I'm just stretching that dough using the base of my palm and pulling out, folding it back and continuing to do that. This action and method is extremely important as it helps the gluten develop in your dough and it helps the dough rise successfully. So you're going to repeat this process and continue doing this for about 4 to 5 minutes. You will notice that the dough goes from tacky, like you can see here, to a beautiful smooth dough over a period of time. Somewhere in the middle of the process, I'm going to add another spoon of olive oil, like I mentioned earlier, and continue working that through my dough. At this stage, I'm really happy with the way my dough looks, and I'm going to stop kneading here. Like you can see, it's beautiful, soft, light, and stretchy. Now I'm just going to try and smoothen one end. Like you can see, I'm picking the dough, placing it on the pan, and tucking the ends in. To finish it off, I'm gently going to press the rough side or the uneven side with both my palms, like you can see me do here, while maintaining that top nice and smooth. You want to keep that top nice and smooth so that it rises really well. Now at this stage, I'm going to leave my dough to prove or rise. In a bowl, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil just to make sure that the dough doesn't get terribly stuck to the bowl. And gently, I'm going to place my ball of dough in there. I'm now going to sprinkle a little bit of olive oil on the top and rub that all over the ball of dough to make sure that the dough doesn't dry out and develop a crust while it's rising. Now, as much as I hate single-use plastic, this is one place where I actually use cling film. I'm going to wrap my bowl in cling film, set it aside in a warm part of your house for about an hour or so. What you're looking for is this dough to about double in size, and it needs a warm environment to do that. If you don't want to use cling film, you can by all means use a clean, damp tea towel. Now with the dough done and resting, the most complicated part of the recipe is over. While the dough is resting, we're going to start making the sauce. This is an easy no-cook sauce. I'm using a store-bought passata as my sauce base. You can use a regular tomato puree or canned tomatoes also if you'd like. Into a bowl, I'm going to add about a cup to a cup and a quarter of passata. Now I'm just winging it. The measures don't have to be exact. You just need enough sauce to cover your pizza bases. To this, I'm going to add 3 small cloves of garlic. If your garlic cloves are larger in size, adjust the quantities accordingly. If you don't want to use garlic, you can also use garlic powder, but I find fresh garlic absolutely fantastic. It adds a beautiful flavor. Now I'm just going to put that through a mincer, or you can finely chop it and add it to the bowl. Into the bowl, I'm going to put in a little glug of olive oil, about 2 teaspoons of olive oil. I'm adding some salt to taste, freshly cracked black pepper to taste. I'm now going to add a little less than half a teaspoon of mixed herbs. And personally, I find that the blend I use is a little low on the oregano flavor, so I'm going to add about a quarter teaspoon of extra oregano to this. Now you can totally adjust the quantities of these herbs to suit your taste. In goes somewhere between a quarter to a half a teaspoon of chili flakes. To balance out the tartness of the tomato, I'm going to add about half a teaspoon or thereabouts of sugar. And I'm going to stir all of that to mix all the herbs and spices in thoroughly with that sauce. Once you've stirred it all, I would recommend tasting it to check and see if you need to add any more of the herbs or any more chili flakes, or whether you need a little more salt or sugar in that mix. Now remember, this is just a guide or a starting point for you, please feel free to tweak this sauce to suit your liking. And that's it. Our pizza sauce is ready. I feel that there's no point in cooking the tomato sauce because it's going to go on a pizza base and into the oven at a really high temperature, and it's going to cook that sauce off in any case. Now for our toppings, like I said, I'm going to be doing 2 pizzas here. The first one's a pepperoni pizza, so I've got some sliced pepperoni here. With your toppings, you can be as creative with what you're using. For my meatless one, I've got some onion slices, some red pepper slices, some sliced black olives, and some pickled jalapenos that we've chopped up. And we're going to top everything off with some cheese as well. After resting for about an hour, this is what the dough looks like. Like you can see, it has doubled in volume and is full of those beautiful air bubbles. At this point, using my fingers, I'm going to just gently poke those air bubbles out of there, and using a scraper, I'm just going to get all of that dough out of the bowl. Using my fingers, I'm just going to try and form it into a little ball again like we did earlier. And I'm going to split that into 2 halves. This dough is enough to make me 2 medium-sized pizzas, and that's plenty for us. Now using your fingers, you're going to tuck the ends of that dough in to form a nice smooth ball like we did before. And I'm going to do this with both the portions, and we'll start working with one portion at a time. I don't know if you can see it, but the dough is beautiful and light and almost pillowy. All right, at this stage, before you can start topping your pizzas, I would recommend preheating your oven. I preheat my oven to about 250 degrees Celsius. That's how high my oven temperature will go. And your pizzas need a super hot oven to bake in for best results. I'm just going to use a regular baking tray because I don't have a pizza stone at this stage, and I find for me a baking tray works fine. But somewhere down the line, I am going to invest in a pizza stone. Now to the most fun part of making your pizza. Now I'm going to just gently stretch the dough using my fingers. So holding the dough at one end, I'm just going to let the rest of it fall down. I'm going to let gravity do its bit and stretch that dough for me, just like you can see me do here. So I'm going around the edge of the dough, pulling ever so slightly, and the dough stretches by itself. Lightly grease your baking tray with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm now going to place my pizza dough, and using my fingers, I'm going to stretch that out a tiny bit more. You can decide how thick or how thin you want your pizza base to be. We like ours to be on the thinner side. Another way you can stretch your dough is between your hands, like you can see me do here, using my knuckles. You can also, if you don't want to fuss about with it, you can also use a rolling pin and roll it out. All I'm doing now at this stage is just stretching out the edges because we don't like very thick edges. I'm stretching that dough out, and like you can see, the gluten has developed beautifully. It's stretching without tearing, and that's what you're going for. Once your dough is ready, you're going to spoon a little bit of the sauce on the pizza base, making sure not to take it to the very edge of the pizza. You want to leave a little bit of a gap all around. And what I'm working on first is the pepperoni pizza. So I'm going to start by placing the cheese first. What I've got here is some shredded mozzarella as well as some shredded Australian Colby cheese. So I'm going to use a blend of both of those. You can use just mozzarella if you'd like. You can also use a combination of cheeses like I'm doing here. We like a little extra cheese on our pizza, so I'm making sure that the base is covered with cheese. And I'm going to place the slices of pepperoni all around. And your pizza is now ready to go into your hot oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. Or until you can see that the dough has cooked through and the cheese is all nice and melted. Now for the second pizza, I've done the exact same thing. I've spread out my base on another baking tray and I've spread the sauce over the base. Now for this pizza, I'm going to use some bocconcini or some cherry mozzarella. These are little balls of mozzarella cheese. And I'm just going to tear these little balls of cheese using my fingers and spread that all around the base evenly. And I'm now going to sprinkle the toppings all over my pizza. Now my husband likes his pizzas fully loaded, so I'm going to be a little generous with the toppings. You can use as much or as little as you'd like. You can use a number of other options, be adventurous, experiment, see what you'd like, and use them on your pizza. What's your favorite pizza topping? Leave me a comment in the comment box below and let me know. And because we love cheese so very much, I'm going to top off the pizza with a little more cheese. Some shredded mozzarella and some shredded Australian Colby cheese. And the pizza is now ready to go into that preheated oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. Our first pizza is ready and I've just pulled it out of the oven and it looks divine. I cannot tell you how beautiful my kitchen smells at the moment. The second pizza is also done. I had a little bit of the sauce spilling over, but the pizza in itself is done beautifully. I've just pulled that out of the oven. Now we're going to go ahead and cut our pizzas up into wedges and enjoy them for lunch today. Now, if you don't have a regular pizza cutter, you can also do what I'm doing. I use a cleaver and just slice through. I should remember to pick up a pizza cutter when I get into the shops next. But for now, this works just as well. And that, guys, is how easy it is to make your very own pizza at home. And once you've made pizzas at home, you'll know how absolutely satisfying an experience this is. Those of you that have tried making your pizzas at home will know exactly what I'm talking about. There you go. That's a slice of beautiful pepperoni and cheese pizza. And this is done just the way we like it, with the perfect amount of cheese the way we like it, and the perfect amount of topping as well. Now with my vegetarian pizza, like you can see, I've made the base a little thinner here. And just look at the beautiful stretch that I've got from that mozzarella cheese. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share this video with family and friends that you think might like it. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm going to see you really soon with another delicious recipe. So till then, take care. Bye.